Hey y'all, come on in. Hey Paris, how you doing? Hey Tatiana. Hope I said that right. Yes, you caught the live. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Um, it's funny, but while everyone is still coming in, but I did film a review, and I just have not found the time to get around to editing it. It's just been a lot going on, child. But I was like, let me get on here and go live and let's talk about it together. Hey, Caitlin, thank you. Girl, I blew it out. I plan to do some braids. I found some old braiding hair and I found enough packs to where I could do some braids. I might have to get a couple more. But I'm like, I'm gonna do some braids. So I decided to go ahead and stretch it out a little bit and just never got around to like sitting down and parting it and braiding it. But I'm gonna do it eventually, child. But thank you. Hey Bree. I was waiting on your review for this week. I'm so sorry, y'all. I couldn't. It was just a lot going on, but that's why I'm here now. We could talk about it together because y'all, this season, I don't like the fact that the weddings gave me so much hope, or like I am like, oh, maybe this could work out. And then they show us this preview where it's like, well, just throw all my hope right out the window. Like, never mind. Like, I couldn't like I'm never gonna give up on like love, and I'm a hopeless romantic, so I'm always gonna love, but it's just like y'all don't have to show us all of the fighting and backstabbing and cheating possibly. Like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. But what can we expect from Married at First Sight, y'all? Um, hey So Shantae, hey Sherry. Yeah, it's like this show, it takes your emotions up and down for real, for real. Like I don't even know what to say half of the time. Like sometimes it feels like they're mismatching people on purpose, but then again, like with this, the initial connection is pretty much on point for everybody. I'm still on the fence on whether or not I believe that runaway bride storyline. I'm still even though I've seen a little bit of proof that's been like, okay, well maybe, maybe the woman really did decide not to. Cuz I mean, honestly, I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner, but the way that they presented it just makes it feel fake. I don't know what to think now that we saw the preview. Exactly. I'm sitting up here rooting for these couples already. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even trying to be that invested in this show anymore. This was supposed to be my last season of reviewing it, which it might still be. But, I was like, okay. But then I actually saw the wedding. So I'm like, oh, are they trying to get back to their roots? Are they trying to like reel us back in? Are they, you know what I'm saying? And then we see the previews, child. It's like, hey everyone, I'm just here to support because I have not watched this season. Okay, Maisha, you're not alone. It's a lot of people. It's crazy. For the past few seasons, there have been people in my comments saying, yeah, I don't even watch the show anymore. I just keep up through your reviews or through reviews on YouTube. Like for a few seasons, people have been saying that. So I'm not shocked, but shout out to you, Maisha. Thank you for coming. You've been a subscriber for a while, and I appreciate you being in the live. From the previews, they aren't going to make it to decision day since we didn't. I know. Now, no spoilers. Even though it seems a little predictable, no spoilers. I don't want any spoilers in the chat. But from the preview alone, they didn't look like they made it to decision day because we didn't see them get dressed up and sit down with the experts. Yeah, the whole runaway bride it felt staged because no way that hasn't happened sooner. Also, but I also think about the fact that This is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And whether people are doing it with pure intentions or not, most people that sign up for the show and jump through all of those hoops and, you know, go through all of the rigmarole that you have to go through in order to be on the show, I can understand why people go ahead and go through with it, even if they're not initially attracted. Um, just to give it the full college try. But I don't know. I just feel like people like, what was her name? Alyssa. Alyssa, the I'm a good person. What's her name, Alyssa? Anyway, I feel like she's one of those people that should have just been like, never mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm sorry. Can't do this. Turn around. Because she drugged that man for no reason in order to just be on the show. She did not want to be with him. She did not even want to move in with him. She didn't want to stay in the same room with him on the honeymoon. Like she treated him like a scrub. So I feel like some people probably should have said no. I'd rather you say no at the altar than, give people false hope. Every season I say I'm not gonna get my hopes up and I still do. I can't help it. Hey Pinky, I have not watched any of the season mentally. I'm done with this show. I just like to hear your opinion. Aw. Well, I appreciate that part, but I totally understand not getting your emotions involved with this show. Because I told myself I'm gonna stop watching things that are supposed to be entertaining to me and that make me upset. Unless it's for work. And technically, this is work for me. So don't worry, I was just as confused as everyone when we didn't see them on decision day, and that was the couple that I was rooting for. I feel like, oh, exactly. Exactly. Christina, I think that was her. Okay, my bad. I really I barely remember her, to be honest. I just remember I'm a good person. Anyway, you guys, let's go ahead and get started. Let me pull the pictures up and let's see what we got going on here. Okay, we're going to start with Emily and Brennan. Let me see, because low-key, I kind of forgot what happened. Let me look over my notes. Okay, so she kind of ran her mouth too much at one point. Like they were sitting down and she was telling him about how she was taking shots off of the stripper and white girl wasted. Now she didn't say she was twerking on a handstand, but I appreciate the honesty. I do appreciate the honesty. And let me say this too, because a lot of people are saying, well, she's like it's gonna be another Virginia and Eric situation from a couple of seasons ago. And I could see it going that way. Or if this guy, because even though he does seem like he's a little bit more conservative, he also seems like someone that's not as uptight as Eric was. You know what I'm saying? He seems like he wants someone that's going to help him let his hair down and like, cause even at the end when they were doing their little exit and they were dancing, they were the ones that were dancing, right? I feel like he was having the time of his life. Like it seems like something he would never do, but she kind of pulled it out of him. Like he seemed like he was having so much fun. And like when his friends, because she sat down to talk with his friends and told them that she had never been in a relationship before, and you know that I don't know, she said she was ready to get down on the wedding night or whatever. Like she said some things that might have been a red flag or whatever, but when he was talking to his friends, it seemed like it didn't do nothing but make him want to be with her more. And I also think that they are very physically attracted to each other. Well, we know she physically attracted to him, child. She talking about taking him down and putting him in handcuffs. Which why are you trying to put him in handcuffs and you ain't got the key? But anyway, I don't know. I do have hope for them though. Even though she's never been in a relationship, even though, you know what I'm saying, she could have some selfish ways. But maybe she might be ready to settle down. I agree Eric was a bit uptight, but he didn't come off like that to me so far. He seems like he just needs someone to pull certain things out of. That's what I get from him. He doesn't give me like, oh, like, you know, I don't want my wife acting like that, or I don't want my wife drinking or anything. He didn't seem like that type. He seems like he seemed like he down with the shenanigans low key. he just not gonna he's not going to be the one to lead the shenanigans, but he's ready to go along for the ride. And he's also somebody who said that he doesn't want to get a divorce, and people in his family don't divorce. So I think I think he's really going to try to make it work. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch Married at First Sight anymore, but I enjoy your reviews, so I have just decided to watch you instead. Aw, thank you for being here. I like Brennan and Emily so far. Me too. Me too. Because a lot of people are against this union because of Emily, but it's like we haven't even really seen her, interact with him for real. So I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna give him a chance. Okay. All right. That's pretty much all I have to say about them. If I post my full review, y'all get my like in-depth feelings. All right, these two. Now, okay. Last week I was like the chemistry is not there in the picture, and I just, I thought it was going to be super awkward. And it was a little awkward, but I think it was a little awkward in a we're strangers kind of way, you know what I'm saying? Like it was awkward, like this is our first time meeting. It felt like a first date, but I feel like the attraction was there. And I feel like as the day progressed on, the more and more she warmed up to him. Um, I like the fact that he went a little bit more in depth about how, these people that he called his second family really are like family to him, because when he came from New Zealand, they embraced him, gave him a job, gave him a place to stay. And so this really is like his second family. And he also said that he wants to, if they make it past decision day, he would like for them to have a second wedding in New Zealand. And I thought that was great. I love the fact that he was like, she seemed very nervous, and I just want her to know that, you're safe with me. And I hope that's true. Like they seem to really vibe with each other. I feel like now I ain't gonna lie, Claire was over talking him a little bit. She was. But a part of me feels like she was just nervous. She said this is something she would never do, but she felt led to do it because of her brother who is deceased. Um I don't know. I think they could make it. I really do. And then her grandmother at the end giving her that advice. Let me read the advice. The advice was so good. I was like, let your grandma talk, because she sounds like she knows what she's talking about. The grandma was like, don't one up each other, don't constantly point out imperfections in one another, don't always think of what they do wrong, think of the things they do right, and don't expect too much too soon. And I'm like, grandmother needs to be an expert, okay? Because that's a lot of things, that's a lot of the struggles that people have on this show, is they have a lot of they set a lot of unrealistic expectations, and when the person doesn't live up to them, they're very critical. And whereas it probably could have had a chance to work, you didn't give it a chance because the person, it didn't automatically live up to what you thought they should be. You know what I'm saying? Cameron really likes her. They seem sweet together. Their preview had a little drama. It did. I ain't gonna lie. It did. Now, I'm like, oh no. I don't know, but for now, like someone said their wedding was very awkward. I do think it was a little awkward, but I also think she was just very nervous. But when you saw Cameron, Cameron is he seems like he's just awkward in general. Like he's just super tall and lanky and you know, almost maybe a little nerdy, maybe. I don't know. But he seemed very sure of himself though. Um even almost to a fault. Like when he was talking to her sister saying like I'm, your mother loves me. I'm very educated. I don't even think he was trying to be cocky. I think he was just that's how he feels like so I think he's very confident, and even at the altar like he would not break eye contact with her. She was the one nervous looking around, and he was just like enamored. Like he seemed like he was very impressed with her, and I think little by little he was winning her over because she said she wanted someone that was very funny and goofy, or made her laugh, and little by little she just kept giggling, she kept laughing, and I'm like, I don't know, y'all, I don't know. I hope that New Zealand wedding is not like Michael's Jamaica trip. Promise to Mika. Now why you bring him up? Montreal. Oh my goodness. I cannot. But they did seem like they had a nice little connection. And Mari said, I like them, but this is married at first sight. This is married at first sight, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next couple. Um, if I didn't want any other couple to make it from this season, I want it to be them. They just seem like they are a perfect match just based off of, when she first walked down that aisle, like she just really just her personality alone, it's just like fills up the room. But the way they banter back and forth, it just, I don't know, y'all, it was so cute. Like I was just feeling it. I was just it almost felt as if they knew each other for years. It almost felt like two people that grew up next door to each other that always kind of sort of had feelings for each other, but now they finally stopped playing and got married. That's kind of how their dynamic was. Cause it just why they feel so comfortable already and they're strangers. One thing I did notice though is when they were doing the photo shoot, the bridal photo shoot, first of all, her pictures came out flawless. Okay. Not only is she a great wedding photographer, but and maybe the photographer was just good too, but man, the way she was directing and the snapshots they caught, I'm like, girl, I want you to take my pictures. I want to look like a princess too. Um, but yeah, the way she was directing and um giving direction during the photo shoot, it was like, I don't know. Is she a little bossy? I don't know. I don't know. But it did seem like during the photo shoot, she was winning the mother over because his mother looked like she was not having it to begin with when this season first started. But looked like she was winning his family over. Um, the conversation that she had with his female roommates. A lot of women would be intimidated by that or have a problem with that. Um, I'm trying to see, would I have a problem with that? Would y'all have a problem if your man had a female roommate? And then when she was talking to the girl was telling her like, he likes to wear his pajamas all day and he likes to start projects and he doesn't finish them, but he does take out the trash. Maybe I'm a little jaded because I just got done watching Love is Blind and that whole situation with Lydia. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of crazy. But I would just be like, girl, you don't have to tell me everything about him yet. Like, no, ma'am. But Becca took it with stride and she said, you know what? Anytime You miss him because I feel like I'm coming in here and stealing him. Anytime you miss him, you can come hang out with him, come, see him or whatever. I don't know, y'all. That was I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that was just me. Maybe that was just me. What else happened? Anything else happen? Oh yeah, like her friends just keep impressing upon him that she's gonna, I don't know, attack him when they get to the bedroom. Like they made it seem like she was gonna pounce all over this man. And then when she was sitting down with his friends, they were like, well, are y'all gonna consummate? And it's like, okay, I know this is a question. I'm sure is the producers tell them to ask this question, and it's always inappropriate. Usually it's the women talking to the men and asking that question, and it's inappropriate when they do it. But when a man's doing it to a woman, it especially was like, sir, sir. And then on top of that, he was telling her, um, yeah, he likes to take it slow. I'm just like, ain't none of that your business. Okay. She's not going to be trying to do anything anytime soon anyway, because she just recently had a surgery, as we all know. And um, she would risk ripping her stitches, or, she would risk injury if she were to consummate that night. So they definitely will not be doing that. But I wonder, is she going to let him know? We didn't get to see them the wedding night, so we don't know for sure if she told him the first night. But I wonder when she is going to tell him about her not her mental, her about her illness. And I wonder, is she gonna wait until like after their honeymoon? Like, when is she gonna tell him these things? She's probably gonna have to tell him pretty soon, because how is she gonna hide, the fact that she just had surgery? And, what if she falls ill during the honeymoon? So I just wonder how all of that's gonna play out. Becca was kissing him a lot. I like them, mainly her, but I just don't see them lasting. Yeah, they were kissing a lot. They were doing a lot of kissing. She was doing a lot of the initiating. But he seemed like he was blushing and going along with it. But you're right. I just don't know. It's not that I don't necessarily see them lasting. I just know the strain that being a caregiver can be. I know that firsthand. So to put that on a brand new relationship with no foundation is a lot to ask of someone. So I don't know, you guys. I will see about that. Let me go ahead and move on. Now, their initial connection, I was here. I was here for it. But since then, there's been a couple of red flags. There's been a couple of red flags. Um, when he sat down and talked to the father, there were some things that came up that I'm like, because I already was giving him a little bit of the side eye when he said that he had never dated a woman from his culture before. And, maybe I have a little PTSD from men of my culture saying they've never dated anyone inside, a black woman or whatever. But when he said, yeah, I come from a matriarchal background, and so the reason why I didn't never dated anyone in my culture is because I don't like to be bossed around. And it just, once again, it's like almost like PTSD, because I've heard this so many times um from some of the men in my culture. And a lot of times, we get labeled unfairly aggressive or angry, loud, um just not agreeable, unfriendly, not submissive, just a lot of negativity, you know what I'm saying? When really I feel like a lot of times Black women just carry our community, you know what I'm saying, in so many ways. When and it kind of did in a way. All I'm gonna say is I can relate. I can relate, and it kind of hit me the wrong way. Like, are you doing the same thing with the women in your community? Where did the women in your community, are you viewing them that way because they had to step up and play the role of both mother and father? Because where's his father? And also, he talked about how he lives at home, and that's a separate conversation we can have as well. But why you still live at home and you tired of women bossing you around? Because I know your mama making you live by her rules in there. So why you still at home? Lauren's dad was interrogating that man. It was a little too much. I look, personally, I'm not mad at it because he don't know that man. She don't know that man. I'm glad the dad made his presence known and let it be known I am very present in her life, and you're not just gonna come in and do whatever it is you want to do because it may be matriarchal. Nothing wrong with that over there. But over here, I'm her daddy, and don't you ever try it. I wasn't mad at it myself. And I feel like the dad was asking some good questions that had me questioning Orion. I hope he doesn't think Lauren will be a pushover. I highly doubt that's gonna happen. Lauren's dad was the red flag. Y'all think the dad was a red flag? You know we're not fit, friendly, and submissive. Exactly. I feel like Black and Indigenous women are very similar. I could see that. I could see that, especially given our history in this country. I could see it. I could see it. But yeah, what else did the dad ask? The dad asked about somehow it came up that, oh, he said he had a real estate license in New York. And so the dad was asking whether he was going to stay there in Denver or if he would move to New York. And he said that he wants to have a place in Denver and in New York. And he just wants to go back and forth. And the dad was just like, well, where does she fall in that equation? And does she have a say? Or are you just going to come in and, put your foot down and have things, the way you want to have them? And I thought that was a good question. You know what I'm saying? I get where he was coming from, but I just think he could have waited to ask some of those questions. Okay, I could see where you're coming from with that. Okay. It was their first time meeting each other. This is the wedding day. It didn't have to get that deep because we all know on this show, on the second day, the day after the wedding, is where they tend to sit down with the other people's families, and that's where you can ask those questions. So I can see where where you're coming from with that. I was just here for it though, because I feel like a lot of times with these families, they don't ask the right questions, or they don't. I'm not saying overstep your boundaries, because there have been times where families have overstepped, but especially with her mother not being there, I don't know. I felt like he was trying to protect her. Her dad made a great point about him moving because there goes those expectations. Those expectations tear a lot of single people have a hard time compromising with. You could tell more. Yeah, Orion was like, Uh, he was I don't think Orion was shying away from it though. I think he was keeping up with what the daddy was saying. I don't think he was shying away or scared necessarily. He was answering the questions. I'm a little nervous for Lauren, because Lauren, at some point she was like, yeah, he's already my security blanket, and I'm just looking over my shoulder trying to see where he is. And she also said that she often looks for external validation. And so that made me a little bit concerned about, that made me a little concerned because I just, being codependent, that's not healthy. And it's another reason why I think um, possibly Lauren was not ready. I do feel like a part of her is still, and I know like grief is a tricky thing. And, she said it had been a year since her mother passed, but I just don't know that she's in a spot where she was ready for this. I don't know. I don't know, you know? But I don't know. I feel like overall they seem like they could make it, but the previews, it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. And I really, 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 truly hope there was no cheating involved. Like I know the previews are trying to insinuate that there was some cheating going on, but I really hope it was just like a situation like on Love is Blind where Aaliyah told Uche that she had cheated in the past. I hope it's something like that. I hope there was no cheating like during their marriage, and that's the reason why they didn't make it to decision day, because that would be tragic. As someone who just lost their grandma, my mother figure, her always looking for that validation is going to be hard for Orion because he does give off that energy. He does. He gives off a very nurturing energy. And I could see why she said security blanket, because he does seem like someone that will like constantly, I don't want to say coddle, but for lack of better words, like he'll just be that for her to just lean on whenever she's feeling emotional. He'll be there, to be a shoulder to cry on. She's not over the major hurdles of grief at all. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. I hate how they made the previews more dramatic than the actual show. A part of me wants to go back and look at some of the previews from the past few seasons, because even though the past few seasons they had their little moments, were not half as dramatic as the previews tried to make them seem. Like that whole preview with Cliff and what's her name kissing Clint and Dominique. That preview of them kissing, and it was a dare. They weren't even kissing because they liked each other. They never dated or anything. Like, it sucks because I really felt hopeful at first when it came to these two. Me too. Orion's sister was asking Lauren great questions too. Yes, they all seem to be like very emotionally intelligent people, and that's one thing that I will give Orion and even his family. They just, I don't know, it would be easy to sit down and talk to them because they don't seem like they're super judgmental, and they also seem like they're um loving and, like I said, emotionally intelligent. Like in Love is Blind when Brett was scrambling on and he and Tiffany's wedding day. Yes, thank you. They really tried to conjure up some drama for Brett and Tiffany, but it's like, it was funny. I actually prefer that sort of drama than, all this other crazy drama. But still, like, it's like they tried to make that seem so much more dramatic than it was. But honestly, Brett was being very dramatic. Was it that serious that your pants were tailored to a T? But then again, women feel how they feel about their dress. I'm gonna let men have their feelings too. But anyway, you guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just end this live here. And I'm gonna start my next live where I'm gonna be talking about Married to Medicine, and Real Housewives of Potomac. So make sure you jump over to the next live and we'll keep the conversation going. Make sure you give this live a thumbs up. It was giving 90 Steve Harvey. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely, if I'm a man in 2023, I'm definitely going to get my pants tailored. If it looks like a Steve Harvey suit, not on my wedding day. Not on my wedding day. And I don't want my husband to look like he's wearing a Steve Harvey suit. So exactly. I totally understand that, man. Cause who wants to Steve Harvey don't even dress like that no more. Montre and them need to tighten up with production. I'm on my last chance. They've been on their last leg for a long time, y'all. That's why I'm just like, I'm trying to like branch out with content, and I'm like, y'all are gonna see me start to talk about a bunch of different shows, like shows that I don't normally talk about on here, but I've been watching. Because I'm tired of talking about Married at First Sight because it's getting old. So let's expand our palettes. Like I've been watching Marvel, y'all. I've been watching Marvel. I've been watching Loki. Um just shows from there. What else? I've been watching this show on Amazon called Upload. Like it's a bunch of different stuff that I've been watching that, I think I'm gonna branch out and start talking about all types of things. Not just reality shows. I really hope Married at First Sight is just stretching for these two not making it to decision day for views like they did last season. Hopefully, but part of me feels like they just didn't make it, child. I haven't watched Married to Medicine in years. It's I still enjoy it. I feel like it's one of the only reality shows that kind of still have that authenticity that it started off with. Do you do document? I actually really like documentaries. So if y'all want to like refer any to me, or maybe I'll have a live one day and we'll just talk about all the things, all the things we've been watching lately, because I love recommendations and stuff like that. So maybe I'll do a live like that one day this week. I'm doing pretty good. Girl, keep. Is it just called Just Keep? Can you make low key? If y'all want Degrassi content, cause that used to be my show. I might have to go back and watch a few seasons. But let me put this on my list. Since y'all giving me a list. My list that I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to find my list. Okay. Keep. What else you got? Selling Sunset. I have been meaning to check that out. Selling Sunset. I have. One of my besties been telling me to watch that. Keep, Sweet, Pray, and Obey. Is that all one? Degrassi fandom is slowly dying. What? You know what? I actually did some TikToks talking about Degrassi, and they did kind of blow up. So I think I it's crazy how Degrassi, after all these years, still ring bells. Okay, Jersey Shore, child. It's crazy how I had no business watching that show, and I was. I might go back and because I used to do my rant videos. Like I used to watch, like, talk about the old shows. Like I did like sitcoms, I did older movies. So maybe I'll do some rants talking about, the things that had us in a chokehold back in the day. Yes, it's one documentary about a spin-off chapter in the Mormon church. Wow, okay. I might check that out because I really did like Leah Remini's about her it wasn't a documentary, but her TV show about Scientology was really good. It's on Netflix. Okay. Can you review how toxic Sam and Ron child beyond beyond to the point where didn't she say like for their new show, didn't she say that she wasn't willing to be on the show while he was on it, and that's the only reason why she came back because he wasn't on it? Okay, I'm gonna check it out. All right, you guys. Make sure you like the video. Once again, like I said, on my next live I'm about to do right after this one, I'm about to pick up right after. I'm going to be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. So make sure you join me on that live, and I'll be right back.